He smiled like nothing happened. Then he asked me for one last hug. My phone buzzed in my pocket. The joint account was empty. Not low. Not pending. Empty. $0. And the withdrawal wasn't online. It was in cash. I looked up at him. He was already watching my face, like he'd been waiting for this moment. But the real shock was where the money actually went. If you've ever been betrayed quietly, stay with me. And hit subscribe because this ends clean. I'm Brielle. I'm 33. I'm a librarian, soft voice, sharp memory. And I don't forget receipts. The week we separated, he acted polite. Too polite. He started using my name more. Not babe. Not honey. Just Brielle, like we were co-workers. He cleaned the kitchen at midnight. He folded towels with military corners. And he kept his phone face down like it was radioactive. I should have known, but I didn't. Because I thought separation meant space, not sabotage. He suggested we keep things civil. He said we'd split things evenly. He even offered to handle the bills until we figured it out. That part felt sweet. Like a man trying to do the right thing. But something didn't feel right. It happened on Tuesday. Separation week. Day 3. We were standing in the hallway. A cardboard box between us. My books. My framed photo of my mom. My winter boots. He leaned against the wall like a calm man. Like a man with nothing to hide. Before you go, he said, let's confirm the account is fine. He said it casually, like he was doing me a favor. I opened my banking app. Thumbprint. Loading wheel. Then, $0. I blinked hard. Refreshed. Again. Still 0. My throat went dry. I couldn't even breathe right. He tilted his head. See? He said. Everything's settled. I stared at the screen. My voice came out small. Where is it? He didn't answer right away. He just watched me, like he enjoyed the silence. Then he shrugged. It's complicated, he said. And that's when my hands started shaking. That account was our safety net. Rent. Food. My car payment. My dignity. I didn't have rich parents. I didn't have a secret stash. That money was my ability to leave. To start over. To not beg. And he knew that. He didn't just take cash. He took air out of my lungs. But I didn't scream. Not yet. I just looked at him. Really looked. And I saw it. The tiny lift at the corner of his mouth. He wanted me panicked. He wanted me desperate. He wanted me small. But something didn't feel right. He slid a piece of paper across the box. A printed statement. It looked stupid. Plain. Boring. Here, he said. Proof. You can't say I hid anything. The statement showed the balance. 0. He smiled again, like he'd handed me trash. I took it, folded it once, tucked it into my book tote. I didn't think much of it, at first, because I was still stuck on the number, the emptiness. But that paper was the first brick he threw, and I knew exactly how to throw it back. 2 hours later, I was in my new apartment. Boxes everywhere. Silence like thick snow. I sat on the floor with my laptop. The printed statement beside me. My hands weren't shaking anymore. They were steady. Because panic is what weak people do. I'm not weak. I opened my banking portal. Not the app. The portal. If he wanted to play adult games, I'd use adult tools. And that's when I noticed the account didn't go to 0 by transfer. No trace of a 2 account number. No digital recipient. Just one word. Withdrawal. Multiple times. Over multiple days. My stomach tightened. He told me he'd handled bills. He told me he'd kept things normal. But the withdrawals were spaced out. Like someone feeding a habit. I scrolled slowly. Date. Amount. Location. And that's when my phone rang. It was my sister. I almost ignored it. But something told me not to. Bri, she said. Are you okay? I swallowed. I'm fine, I said. I just found out I'm broke. There was a pause. Then she said, quietly, Did he do it again? Again? That word hit like a slap. What do you mean again? I asked. Another pause. Longer. Brielle, she said. I didn't want to tell you. My chest got cold. And that's when I realized I wasn't seeing the start. I was seeing the pattern. After I hung up, I stared at the printed statement. That worthless paper. I unfolded it carefully, like it was fragile. At the bottom was a tiny line most people ignore. An internal reference code. A branch ID. I opened a new tab. Typed the branch ID into the bank locator. It matched a location across town. Not near our home. Not near his job. A different part of the city. A part he never had a reason to visit. But something didn't feel right. I zoomed in on the withdrawal entries. There were timestamps. Late nights. Early mornings. Odd hours. Not errand hours. Not pay bills hours. I leaned back. Let the silence stretch. Then I whispered the question out loud. Why cash? Because cash is invisible. Cash doesn't leave a trail. Unless you know where to look. And that's when I remembered ATM machines have cameras. The next morning I went to the bank. I dressed simple. Neutral colors. Soft smile. People underestimate a librarian. They think I'm quiet because I'm harmless. No, I'm quiet because I'm listening. At the counter I said, politely, I need the bank logs for the joint account, full detail. The teller blinked. Are you both requesting? We're separated, I said gently. I'm still on the account. She hesitated, then nodded. She printed pages. Lots of pages. Transaction logs. Withdrawal slips. Machine IDs. I took them like they were just paper. But inside my heart was running. Then I asked the question that mattered. And I need the ATM camera stills. For these withdrawals. Her eyes widened just a little. Those require... I understand, I said softly. But I want the request filed today. I slid the printed statement across the counter. The worthless one. Her gaze dropped to the reference code. Then she said, quieter now. I can submit the request. My pulse didn't jump. My face didn't change. I just nodded. And that's when I knew. He thought he was erasing evidence. But he was building it for me. 3 days later, the bank called. Miss Brielle? Yes. Your requested stills are ready. I drove there with both hands calm on the wheel. No music. No distractions. In the parking lot, I told myself one thing. Whatever I see, I won't flinch. Inside, the teller handed me an envelope. Thick. Official. My fingers opened it slowly. One photo. Then another. Then another. And then... Oh, shit. It wasn't just him at the ATM. It was him at the ATM, wearing a jacket I'd never seen. And behind him, in the reflection of the glass, a neon sign. Not a bar. Not a store. A casino. My throat tightened. I flipped to the next still. Same ATM. Different night. His face looked hollow. Eyes wild. Like a man chasing something. Next still. He was handing cash to someone just out of frame. Only one thing was visible. A manicured hand. Bright nails. A bracelet that looked expensive. I sat there, holding the photos. And I didn't cry. Because suddenly, the missing money made sense. But something didn't feel right. Why would he drain the account during separation week? Unless he wasn't trying to win money. He was trying to hide a loss. That night I went through our mail history. Every envelope. Every junk letter. I kept one small box of papers during the move. The boring stuff. Bills. Statements. Old insurance forms. Worthless, right? Wrong. I found a letter shoved behind a phone bill. No return address I recognized. Just a stamp. And a cold typeface. I opened it. It wasn't a bill. It was a final notice. A debt collection notice. For gambling credit. My hand stayed steady, but my vision blurred at the edges. I read it again. Then again. He wasn't broke. He was in debt. He didn't take our money because he wanted to hurt me. He took it because he was drowning. And instead of admitting it, he tried to make me the life raft. But something didn't feel right. Because there was more. There's always more. I met him 2 days later. Neutral place. Coffee shop. He walked in like a man who'd already won. Relaxed shoulders. Easy grin. He sat across from me. Folded his hands. So, he said, we can be adults about this. I didn't answer. I took out my phone. Placed it on the table. Then I took out the printed bank logs. Placed them beside the phone. Then the ATM stills. One by one. I didn't slide them toward him. I just let them exist. Silence. His eyes flicked down. Then back to my face. He tried to smile again. That's dramatic, he said. I held his gaze. I'm not being dramatic, I said softly. I'm being accurate. Another silence. He picked up one still. His fingers tightened around the edges. His jaw moved like he was chewing a lie. You followed me? He asked. I almost laughed. No, I said. You documented yourself. He stared at the casino reflection. His throat bobbed. Then he leaned in, voice low. Brielle, he said. Don't do this. Don't do this. The phrase men use when they're scared. I kept my tone calm. Where's the money? I asked. His eyes flashed. It's gone, he said sharply. Okay, it's gone. I nodded once. Then I asked the next question. How much debt? I said. He froze. Just for a second. But it was enough. That tiny pause was the confession. He tried to recover. It's not your business, he snapped. I leaned forward slightly. It became my business, I said, when you put it in my account. His hand twitched. He looked around like the walls might save him. I watched him carefully, and that's when I noticed. His confidence was gone. He wasn't a predator anymore. He was prey trying to grow teeth. I kept my voice soft, softer than his. I know about the withdrawals, I said. I know about the casino. I know you've been hiding it. He swallowed. Then he did what weak people do. He tried to rewrite reality. You were going to leave me anyway, he said. So I protected myself. Protected. That word, like theft, can be a safety plan. I didn't argue. I just tapped the bank logs with one finger. You drained the joint account, I said. In separation week. Then I tapped the envelope of stills. And you did it in cash, I said. Because you thought cash is invisible. I paused. Let it breathe. Then I said the final line. But cameras remember, I whispered. His face went pale. And for the first time, he said nothing. I didn't threaten him. I didn't raise my voice. I did something better. I walked out. The next day I met with a lawyer. Not a fancy one. A precise one. I handed over the documents. Bank logs. ATM stills. Debt notice. He asked me one question. Do you want revenge? He said. Or do you want control? I answered without hesitation. Control, I said. Because revenge is loud. Control is permanent. We filed what we needed. We documented what mattered. We didn't overtalk. And then the court did what courts do best. They removed emotion from the equation. When my husband tried to act confused, the judge didn't care. When he tried to act charming, the judge didn't smile. When he tried to minimize it, the documents didn't move. The repayment plan was ordered. Not suggested. Ordered. A structured schedule. Automatic deductions. No, oops. No, I forgot. He tried one last time to look at me like I was cruel. I didn't blink. And I gave him one line. One clean sentence. Karma doesn't scream, I said. It just collects. His control snapped. Not in a big, dramatic way. In a small, humiliating way. His shoulders sagged. His face tightened. Because he finally understood. He couldn't gaslight paper. He couldn't charm a camera. He couldn't guilt a judge. A month later, my fridge was full again. My rent was paid on time. My hands stopped hovering over my banking app. I didn't feel happy. Not like a movie. I felt something better. Safe. I still speak softly. I still shelve books. I still smile at strangers. But now I know something most people learn too late. The quiet ones aren't weak. We're just patient. And if someone tries to take your peace in silence, don't panic. Document. Because dignity doesn't need revenge. It needs receipts.